Good morning, fellow traders. Bubblehead here, and it's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Thursday, January 30th, 2020. I hope everybody had a great night last night. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and non-investment advice. Please take a moment to review this disclaimer. All right, awesome. Well, let's check and see where we left off yesterday with the SPX. So we talked about this, that we are in the trend box right now because we started to break down the first trend line, right? We gapped down below the second trend line, giving us a not necessarily a bearish candle, but enough for us to shift the trend line, right? We got a nice gap up and a push up 2 days ago, right? And so that gave us a gap fill. And then yesterday we couldn't quite fill the closing gap, right? And that oftentimes turns into a resistance level, and we saw a push down after that. And then today we're seeing we're probably going to gap down again based on S&P futures. So let's take a look at the futures here. So we got one little spike last night right here, which got us out of this downward trend line and into a trend box right now. So we need to see if we can get above this 32.58 and 3/4, so basically 32.59. So if we can get above that level and close above that level strong and then confirm above it, then we can start to see us reclaiming some of this range. But in the meantime, we're still dealing with this trend box. So definitely be concerned, right? I mean, there's definitely concerns about spreading of the coronavirus, right? Not to mention the market is still digesting the Fed day yesterday, and oftentimes we do see moves after the fact of the Fed, even if it was a boring Fed. And it was interesting, right? We did see, we had an inside 15, worked ourselves down a little bit of a symmetrical move, bear flag, and then got some continuation, right, into the after hours, right? So that's definitely something to consider, right, as they look at repo markets and other implications from the Fed not adjusting rates, but also commenting on the coronavirus too. So we'll see, what type of follow through we get into the open market today, and and what we what we can expect also, based on how it handles these levels. So that being said, there is some earnings still, and some pretty big ones, right? So let's take a look. So we had Tesla last night. Had a great earnings right there and is holding up pretty well this morning. Again, here are the key pre-market levels or after hours levels, right? So we've got this 650 obviously and 660 are going to be big levels, right? And then above that, I mean, at that point, we could kind of just use our numbers. We could use Fibonacci's on that, but definitely looking for a gap up here in Tesla. Hopefully we can get above all the after hours levels to give it a gap and go type move today. Again, it likes to move inverse of the market. So if the market is weak, money might be flowing in Tesla, so it might be one to look for a possible gap and go today. On the other side of the coin, right, we have Facebook. Facebook is gapping down to some interesting levels down here, so we're going to be monitoring those pretty closely. Again, if the market gets strong, this could be a good buy the dip opportunity. Now granted, they're talking about decelerating online advertisement revenue, but at the same time they did have a beat on everything, so it could be a potential bounce candidate, a reversal candidate. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. PayPal had their report a little bit down and kind of choppy here this morning, so something to keep an eye on. It's PayPal's a tough one to trade. So is Coca-Cola, but it can be interesting. So let's see if we can get over some key levels and see where it does, how it handles after the conference call this morning. UPS is also an interesting one that can be traded pretty well. It's a pre-market. It's not giving us a lot of, and after hours, it's not giving us a lot of fluid moves. But intraday, it can give us nice, strong moves here. Like yesterday, we had an inside 15 that broke up real nicely, so that was a good one. Microsoft. Got some upgrades this morning, so after its earnings report, it's drifting down a little bit here, so it's got to have some work to do this morning to try to get above a few of these levels. So we'll see how it handles that and how it behaves pre-market. And then finally, we've got Verizon today. So we'll see how that goes. It looks like it's gapping down a little bit pre-market, but I'm not seeing a lot of volume on that. So anyway, it should be an interesting one today, guys. Again, just be cautious out there, right? We don't know exactly how they're pushing this thing. When we go to the SPX, right, and we see what's happening here, what we're seeing is not only are we in the trend box, but we're rejecting some key levels and not pushing to fresh highs, right? So the bears were not in control yesterday, and it was kind of a nasty candle. If this candle were here, I would have been definitely consider being short on the market, try to get the 50-day moving average. So let's see where we open here today. More than likely, more than likely around the 32. Depending where we are, depending how it carries over, probably the 32.40s, right? Maybe the 32.30s. We'll have to see where we are and we test these levels. Okay, if we close down below there, that's going to be a big concern for us. So anyway, hope everybody has a safe trading day today, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.